Okay, so end of the last part, and we had just found out that we were trying to figure out what's going on in this area right here. So I wanted to figure out what happened to f of -1, and I got this -1, -8. So let's go ahead and put that point in there, and I don't know if I've got enough room here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's go ahead and put that point in there. -1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and -1 about right there. So when I continue this graph here, it looks like I'm going to sketch this a little bit better here. Okay, and if I really want to, I can figure out what f of 2 was to kind of figure out what's going on this side. And again, the more you do, the more likely your graph is going to look a little bit better or more accurate. So I have -2 times 2 minus 1 squared and 2 plus 2. So I get -2 times 1 squared times 4. I get -2 times 1 times 4, which is -8. So 2, -8. Good point. So it looked like if I wanted to make this a little bit more accurate, I would do 2, -8, which would be right about here. Okay. So there's that graph right there. And again, if you follow these 5 steps, and then maybe if you need to do a couple extra points, you're going to have a more accurate graph. So let's go ahead and I want to go ahead and before I move on further, we go back to the strategies for graphing a polynomial function. There are 5 steps, but really I like to tell my students that there's really 6 steps. So I'll give you the 6th step when you take your exam. You want to go ahead and find other points on the graph. By subbing in appropriate x values and finding corresponding y values. When I say appropriate, what was appropriate in that last example was finding the appropriate, the corresponding y value when x was -1 and x was 2. It really didn't help me to put in x equals 10 because again, I'm really trying to figure out what's going on in this area. Okay. So on your own, I know this is difficult for us students to do because we have those 5 steps and really 6 steps. But use the 5-step or really 6-step strategy to graph the following function here. And I'm going to warn you guys that when you make your graph paper, that you're probably going to need, I'll go ahead and sketch out here, when you do your tick marks, make these each worth 2 because you're going to have some really big y values. Actually worth not 2 but 4. Make them worth 4. So each of these little tick marks, make them worth 4. Okay? And then your x values you can make worth 1 on your graph. Okay? So I'll just give you a little hint there. So go ahead and pause the video and work this problem, and then you can start the video up and check your work. Okay, so I went ahead and got started with this. I'm going to walk you through the rest of it if you did this on your own. The first thing I did was look at the leading coefficient test, basically the end behavior. And so the end is odd because I have 2 plus 1, which is 3, which is odd. Leading coefficient positive. So it looks like it falls left and rises right. For x-intercept, I found the x-intercept of -2, 0, and then 3, 0. It looks like the -2, 0 has a multiplicity of 2 because that factor would occur twice, so it would happen twice. And then the 3, 0 has a multiplicity of 1, so it goes through that point. The -2, 0 actually has a multiplicity of 2 again, so it touches and turns around. I found the y-intercept, and it's a very large y-intercept, although in terms of the y value, 0, -24. And with symmetry, I wrote appeared not to. I went ahead and started sketching my graph. And I plot the -2, 0 and the 3, 0. Because I know it rises right and falls left. I went ahead and drew that in, and then I know it touches this 0 and comes back to there and goes through that one. It looks like there's no symmetry there. So the last step I want to do, or the next step I want to do, is find the turning points. The max turning points. And I went ahead and I looked at the degree is 3, so 3 minus 1, which is 2. So I have 2 turning points. Looks like one of the turning points is right there, and I'm going to have another turning point somewhere here. Okay? So now we got to figure out what's going on in this little area right here. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and look at what happens when, this is my 6th step right here. Look at f of -1. I know what happened at 0, I had that point there. F of -1, f of 1, and f of 2. Okay, again, this graph will be looking a little bit better in just a second. If I do f of -1, I get 2 times -1 plus 2 squared, and -1 minus 3 is another multiple. I get 2 times 1 squared times -4, which is 2 times 1 times -4, and I get -8. So I get the point -1, -8. I do f of 1, 2 times 1 plus 2 squared, 1 minus 3. 2 times 3 squared, and -2. So 2 times 9 times -2, which is -36. I get 1 -36. And f of 2 give me 2 times 1 plus 2. F of, oopsies, -18. Oh, I did one wrong here. My mistake, this should be 2 times 9 times -2, and I did that wrong. It should be -36. Did I have that? -36. I should have 1. I think I had that right. I don't know why I thought that was wrong. So f of 1, I get 1 -36. And then for f of 2, I get 2 times 2 plus 2 squared times 2 minus 3. And I get 2 times 4 squared times -1. 2 times 16 times -1, which is -32. 2 and -32. So look at the graph here. It looks like I did not ever plot the 0 and -24. So let me go ahead and finish this graph on here. And I'll make this graph. I'm going to kind of resketch this. Look a little bit prettier in just a second. I'm go ahead and put my tick marks here. And each of these is going to be worth 4. So I'm going to go ahead and label this as 4. And then I'm going to label 1. I know what they represent. And I have 0, -24. So that point is going to be -4, -8, -4, -8, -12, -16, -20, and -24. Right there, -24, -4, 8, 12, 15, 24. Okay. That's my y-intercept. And then I also have the point 1, -36. That's going to be 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, and 36. And I have 2, -32. The 2, -32 will be right. Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and sketch this just a little bit prettier than what I have second down. So now it's going to fall left. Going to touch this, come back. It's going to go through this y-intercept. Come through here, come back up. better graph here, I want to see what's going on right here. So let's do f of negative 3. So that's another point I might want to do. So f of negative 3 would be 2 times negative 3 plus 2 squared, and then negative 3 minus 3. I get 2 times negative 1 squared, and then negative 6. I get 2 times 1 times negative 6. And I get negative 12, so negative 3, negative 12. I want a better point there. Negative 3, negative 12 would be right here. Sketch it. Something like this. Okay. So again, this is kind of my graph right there. That's my representation of that polynomial function. And we're not using graphing calculators in class. This is not going to be perfect, but this has got, I've used all 6 of those steps to figure out the best possible graph I can draw with that. If you want to go out, I would go ahead and label a couple points. This is going to be 1, negative 36, 2, negative 32. This is 3, 0. And again, you don't have to label all these points in your work, but if you have room, it doesn't hurt to do it. And then 1, negative 1, negative, I never even graphed that one there, negative 1, negative 8, which is right there. Okay, and so on. Okay, so that's the end of this section. When you get in class, if you're in my class, I'm going to give you guys some of the problems to work on paper. If you're in my online class, I'm going to have a packet for you to work on. You don't have to start on it this week, but you can. It'll be in your course documents. If you go to course documents for online class, go to course documents, and print out the graphing overview for chapter 3. If you're in my class, I'll give you a copy of the packet. Okay, so again, you're going to go to course documents, graphing overview for chapter 3, and then you want to work on problems 12 through 17. Again, you don't have to do it this week, but you're probably going to want to work on these before the next exam, just kind of get an idea of if you can graph these on paper. And I'm going to have a key to this also in the course documents eventually, but you can kind of get an overview of this. If you want to go ahead and start problems 1 through 11, 1 through 11 is just going to be the quadratic function. That's what we did in the last section. Okay, that's the end of this section, and so if you have any questions, please make sure you ask me via email, via Ask My Instructor button, or in class.